Right, here we are, it's Johnny Boy. We're in the garden and we're on this garden makeover. We're putting in a decking system and I want to show you how we prepare the sub base and the stud-work system in this garden, on this decking system. So if you look here now, what we have here, we have some 8x3s tannalized timber. That's 8x3, so that's quite a thick board, okay? So we've got 3 of these in place, because the area is going to be 3 meters by 3 meters, and we're going to use a decking system called Shosugi Ban, and that's going to be done in an 8x3, so you don't need a stud work system like the conventional way that you would have it when you're putting decking down using a 6x2 or a 4x2. This is going to last, this is going to support itself. So what we've got here, we've got an 8x3, and we've laid that 8x3 on a strip foundation, okay? And that concrete is probably about 7 to 8 inches thick, so it's quite thick. So that's sat on there, okay? So it's not going to go down. It's an 8x3 timber, so it ain't going to move, okay? We could fix those timbers to that strip foundation. We could do that, okay? But what you've got to remember is we're using 8x3, which is quite a substantial profile to use for a decking system. So it ain't going to go anywhere. When you look at the amounts of boards that's going to be on this area, and there's going to be probably about 15 8x3 profile timbers on here, there's a lot of weight on there, and the likelihood it's not really going to move around. What you don't want when you're walking on a decking system, you don't want it wobbling. But also with wood, it's got to be allowed to move a little bit, because with wood it's going to contract and it's going to expand with the weather conditions. So what we've got here, we've got the 8x3, we've got 3 of them, we've got a 1.5 meter span basically in between. We're going to have a 300 to 400 mil overhang here, depending on how far the client wants to cut it back when we've got it in. They haven't quite made their mind up there. But the other thing, what we've actually done on here, and I'll show you, is that we've used a geotextile underlay, which is so important to keep the weeds down and keep the weeds at bay. It's so very important. So we've got the geotextile underlay underneath this gravel mulch or this gravel dressing right the way through these 3 beds. We need to top up that side a little bit, but basically what we've got on here, some people will think that it's overkill, but we've got about 5 to 6 inches on top of the membrane here. Okay, that's going to keep the weeds down. What you normally find is that with weeds, they don't like the dark area, they need light to grow, so you put the membrane down, but what you've got to try and understand is that there's still an amount of light that will get through that membrane, so what you need to do, you need to cover it up. But what the gravel will do also, it's a dual purpose effect. It actually keeps the membrane down from moving around, but what it actually does, which I like, and it works perfectly, it helps to reduce condensation levels underneath the decking. In the summer, the ground starts to heat up, it starts to warm up, and it starts to emit the condensation, the moisture in the air underneath the decking systems, and that's what happens more than often. That's why decking systems rot, because it's very damp and dark underneath. Because we've got a good depth in gravel now, that will reduce condensation levels. So there you have it. That's my take on how to install this particular subframe and this decking system. If you look in the distance, that's the decking profile, or the board that we're going to use. We've burnt that off in a Shosugi Ban method, and it works, okay? When you burn off wood, it's going to last a long time. But I wanted to show you how we set that frame out. Nice strip foundation underneath the profile. As a recap now, 6 inches of gravel, keep the weeds down and reduce condensation levels. And we've got this 8x3 board that's going to go across. We are going to have it a parallel space from the wall and the back fence, and that will allow a little planting margin. You don't want to be going right the way up to these boundary fences and walling, because it's just going to look like a car park. A nice freeze around there for planting will work perfectly. Look, that's about it now. I'm going to go. I've explained a little bit about that in some detail. You may agree with it, you may not agree with it. If you can get some benefit from that, fantastic. If you want to follow me on YouTube, that'd be really appreciated. There it is now, www.greentoplandscapes.co.uk, or on the YouTube account, it's Green Top Landscape. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook as well. That's it for now. Take care. Have a great day. See you soon.